Trade alert, trade alert, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. The New Orleans Saints have added a big-bodied wide receiver, Devaughn Vele. He is headed to New Orleans from Denver. It's pretty ironic. The Saints traded away Colin Saunders after they played the Jags, and then they trade for a wide receiver right before they play the Broncos. We're going to break it down in full detail, trade information, the draft capital that was sent to the Denver Broncos, everything you need to know about this player. Want to encourage you to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports because we provide content anytime there is information to discuss around the black and gold. We were just live for 2+ hours with Jono Barnes, and we got content coming your way tomorrow. But for right now, let's dive in to Devaughn Vele, I should say, the newest member of the black and gold. I'll tell you this, I do think for the New Orleans Saints, this was a move that I don't hate, but I do think that this is a move that you gave up a lot. I'm just going to go ahead and say I didn't love the trade compensation you gave away, but that being said, 6'5", 210 pounds, he's exactly what you are missing on this Saints offense. You have a need for a big-bodied pass catcher, and now New Orleans has fulfilled that need. In 2024, in his one season, 41 receptions, 475 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 11.6 yards per catch. He's a long and lengthy player. He has a lot of upside, can operate over the middle. He is a possession receiver. He can win over the middle as well. 3rd and 7, 3rd and goal. Give him the rock. I think that he is a guy who could fulfill that big-bodied pass catcher role. Remember, the New Orleans Saints, they have been lacking in the size department. Devaughn Vele at 6'5", 210 pounds. Excuse the typo right there. You can just see, though, on your screen, there's not a lot of size in this group, but 6'5", 210 pound Devaughn Vele is the newest member of the black and gold. I do think that the Saints will benefit from having a player like him. It makes Chris Olave's job better. It makes Shaheed's job easier. It makes Brandin Cook's job easier. It makes everyone's life a little bit easier, specifically the 2 quarterbacks in Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck. You're going to need a safety blanket. You're going to need a big-bodied wide receiver, and for what it's worth, I'm glad that we finally have a player who can fulfill that role. It feels like that's what's been missing. Remember, Bub Means, he was the big-bodied wide receiver, but he is on season-ending IR after suffering an injury against the Chargers in preseason week 1. So for what it's worth, I don't love the trade compensation, but I love the fact that we now have a player who can operate over the middle, who can be the jump ball guy. He's a possession receiver. He has a ton of upside. And in terms of the trade compensation, we'll inform you right now. Devaughn Vele heads to New Orleans, and in return, the New Orleans Saints send a 2026 4th-round pick and a 2027 7th-round pick. The Saints now only have, you're missing 2 picks in the 2026 NFL draft. Your 4th is now gone. It belongs to Denver. Your 7th belongs to the New England Patriots after the Devon Godshot trade. And now you also are missing a 7th-round pick in 2027. This is a team that's in the midst of a rebuild. This is a team that needs, in my opinion, to hold on to draft capital for valuable players. That being said, I don't hate that you added this guy. I just think that this is really, really rich. A 4th-round pick, I just feel like that's a lot, to be honest. And in my opinion, it pains me to say this, but I feel like the Saints got fleeced in this trade. I thought that the Colin Saunders for Luke Fortner trade, kind of call it a push. Guy who wasn't going to make the Jags roster, guy who wasn't going to make the Saints roster, or at least we're going to be low in the rotations. They switch spots, switch rosters. This one, you're giving up good draft capital for a player that has been unproven, has upside for what it's worth, like can fulfill a need and can be good, but it just feels like Mickey Loomis got fleeced. It feels like he didn't really get much in return for a 4th and a 7th-round pick. So I'm going to grade this trade. I'm giving it a C purely because I really, really like the type of player you got. I hate the value that you gave up, though. So I'm going to give it a C, kind of in the middle, but I want to hear from you. Grade this trade A, B, C, D, or F. I want to hear from the Who Dat Nation in the comment section. Be sure to sound off and share your thoughts. Now, the wide receiver depth chart in New Orleans is as follows. Chris Olave, Brandin Cooks, and Rashid Shaheed are the top 3 guys. No changes there, but you still have Mason Tipton. You still got Ced Wilson. You still got Kevin Austin Jr. Bub Means, he is on IR. Mason Tipton, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Dante Pettis, Moochie Dixon, and as well as now Devon Vele, the newest member of the Black and Gold. If you want to know a little bit more about him, I hit up my buddy Matthew Peterson, who covered the Denver Broncos last year for us here at Chat Sports. I texted him, I said, hey, what do you know about this guy? Here's exactly what he replied. He was a Mormon who served on a mission, spent 5 years at Utah, so he is a bit older. You can see that by his age. But he is a possession receiver who will move the chains on 3rd and 7 or on 3rd and long and over the middle. So, again, I don't love that the Saints gave away a 7th and a 4th. You give away just a 7th, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But a 4th feels a little rich. For what it's worth, I will also give credit to Devon Vele. Sean Payton, former Saints head coach, current Denver Broncos head coach, was pretty complimentary of this wide receiver, and he does have athletic upside, so I want to dive into what Sean Payton said, and then we're going to take a look at his 2024 RAS scores. Former Saints head coach and current Broncos head coach said about Devon Vele, I've said this before even a year ago. He's extremely smart, so he can play a lot of positions. He's a good blocker. I like his size, and so it's a good chess piece for us in Denver. Certainly it is year 2 for him, but year 1 was accelerated learning for him as well. Even last year, we found him playing more than just one position. Sometimes that's not the case, but he's doing well. Devon Vele, out of Utah, had a 9.52 relative athletic score. To be totally honest, I'm sure Mickey Loomis saw this graphic and was like foaming at the mouth, saying, please, please, please bring him to New Orleans. To be totally honest, I'm not going to put too much stock into this. I do think that the athleticism is intriguing. I think the size is very intriguing, but I'm going to need to see the production on game days. Will we see him in preseason week 3? Probably not. I mean, he just got to New Orleans, so I seriously doubt we'll see him in preseason week 3. But maybe he's a player who will end up making the roster and can contribute early in the season. If he does play, then I'm going to be looking at him to have some big moments in New Orleans to hopefully etch out a spot on the roster. The production, again, let's take a look at it. 20-plus yard catches. He had 7 of those. Out of his 41 receptions on 55 targets, he scored 3 touchdowns, less than 500 yards. But again, this is a player who I think can really, really feast in an offense that is lacking exactly what he is, a big-bodied possession receiver. The Saints need to get better in that department. The Saints need to have more explosiveness on offense. To be honest, they have been really suffering finishing drives. So when you're missing Foster Moreau due to injury, when you're missing Taysom Hill due to injury, and you're limited to weapons like Juwan, I mean, when I say limited, this is the weapons you have in terms of players who can operate and be successful in the red zone. Juwan Johnson, obviously Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Rashid Shaheed sort of. You don't really have a lot of guys who you can just toss it up to in the corner of the end zone. Now, at least you have somebody. I want to hear your one-word reaction on this trade. Let me know what you think. My one word is fleeced. But the upside is certainly there, so I'm going to go 2 words. Fleeced/upside. Who Dat Nation, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's breakdown of the Devon Vele trade. The New Orleans Saints received the 6'5", 210-pound wide receiver. In return, the Denver Broncos receive a 2026 4th-round pick and a 2027 7th-round pick. I had to make sure I had that correct. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up icon, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.